Today we have Billy and Deborah Tucci. Welcome to Guy Talk. I appreciate you guys coming on the show to talk to us a little bit about what you're doing and just bring us up to date on your adventures. But before we get started, I want to go over your bio a little bit, and I'm going to shorten it down, Billy, because
yes, please.
You know it's a little extensive here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, Guy.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. So you have a couple of awards here. You got Inkpot and Eisner Award. You started getting it with She back in 1994.
Yep, 1994.
And you were doing self-publications on that.
Yep, I tried to get work, and my wife was there the whole time. You know, when I
wasn't his wife, though.
No, she wasn't. But I graduated but she was there, the long-suffering one,
yeah.
You know. She actually posed for the cover for She #1. But the thing is, I went to be pretty brief, I graduated college with a degree in illustration, and I wanted to be a comic book artist. You know, that became my passion, a writer and artist, and I went to, Marvel, DC. I went to the big San Diego Comic-Con trying to find work. The thing is, nobody would hire me. One guy did, who offered me a pinup in a book that was coming out the following summer. And here was this guy that, after me being rejected by every publisher, major and minor, I met this one guy from New Jersey who had a 6-foot table, and he was making his own comics, publishing his own IP, writing and drawing his own story. And he was this really energetic metalhead guy with long hair and just a very gregarious personality and very, what's the word? Is inspired. He's very passionate about his book. And I came home after being rejected because my style didn't fit theirs. Like, this isn't
You weren't totally rejected because he did offer you a pinup.
He offered me a pinup, and then I got another pinup from another smaller company. But Marvel, DC, all the big guys are like, well, can you draw like Jim Lee? And I'm like, Jim Lee was still one of the most popular artists in comics. I'm like, no. And even if I could, why would I want to?
Right.
I don't want to draw like Jim. I want to draw like me. So I came back, and this was August of 1994. I had this germ of an idea of a character. And I said, I met this guy, and, I want to do this. Why don't I do my own comic? The hell with these people. And then that was August 1993, and come March of 1994, She #1 came out in comic shops and exploded, Guy. It was insane. It just blew up. It just hit at the right place, the right time. It was different than anything else out there.
So you just threw the dice.
Yep.
and rolled a 7.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
I rolled a W7 on that one because I got the win too, buddy.
Right.
And
and W7 being my old company.
Yeah, I know. So, and that person I spoke to, that young man, was Brian Pulido, who put out a book called Lady Death, which was another strong female-driven lead character, very beautiful character. His book came out a few weeks before mine. That book exploded, caught everyone off guard, and I guess because of his was so popular, they're like, we got to get this one, and that was my book, was She, that came out, and then we started tearing things up.
That was the beginning of the bad girl movement.
That was the beginning, and we created an entire genre called Bad Girls, which was just basically sexy, beautiful women that, could just kick ass, if I may say.
A lot of them are what you called anti-heroes.
Yeah, a lot of anti-heroes.
They're
that's
not a
more
typical hero.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yeah, yep. And She, for the most part, is like a modern day samurai story. That's my book. So
I was wondering when that Genesis started with that bad girl stuff. And it was 1994 with you guys.
Yep.
Well,
Us and Pulido started, and then Vampirella, which is a famous character from the 60s, they brought her out, and She, and that the 3 of those books became really hot. They became the hottest books in comics, and then everybody jumped on it, following our wake, copying us, things like that. Even Marvel and DC started doing it,
So
with
you guys
Wonder
have
Woman.
been doing this for 32 years then.
32 years. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. Never grow up, right?
Yeah, but
That would be
never
hot.
grow up, but I think I'm growing old. I got to tell you. We were at a convention this weekend, and we're both exhausted. I think I'm going to get some Chinese food after this and get something.
Where did you go this weekend?
We were in Greenville, South Carolina for the amazing South Carolina Comic Con. Great convention. They treated us like royalty. Because a lot of these conventions, even though they're Comic Cons, if you got someone who's like, say, the third zombie on the left of episode 5 of season 2 of Walking Dead, they treat them like kings, you know? And us, normally, you know, they get their own green room and all this stuff, but South Carolina Con, they treat us all the same. We have all the movie stars with us, and we're all in the same place.
I understand. It's a Comic Con.
It's a Comic Con.
And the comic guests are just as important.
Yeah, and we're so busy.
And they do, everything works like clockwork with them. They from transportation to and from the con, transportation to and from the airport for the guests, and as far as the people, they even have golf carts running back and forth from different parking lots to make sure, like, they have covered every detail, and it works like clockwork. So if you're down there, and if you're down there and you're looking for a Comic-Con, we can't recommend it highly enough.
Greenville, what a beautiful city, too.
Oh, incredible.
Wow.
Especially if you're a foodie. Amazing restaurant.
Yeah.
Anybody from Big Bang there?
Not this time.
Not this year.
No.
Oh,
Debbie sat with...
You get him?
Well, I've never seen him, you know, because I'm busy, you know.
Terrificon had one of Raj's girlfriends.
Right. But
just this past summer.
Yeah, but San Diego had San Diego Comic-Con, the big show.
Right.
That had them all. Remember, because you sat at, where'd you go, Nobu or something?
Yeah, I was waiting online at Nobu, and there were people in front of us, and when they turned around to talk to one another, I'm like, oh my God, we're standing behind the Big Bang people. They're also online.
You see a lot of those. So here's a story.
World, huh?
Yeah, so here's a story, is that we were at San Diego Comic-Con, and before I did the Roll Hard book, I did a book called Sergeant Rock, The Lost Battalion.
Yeah.
And it was based on the Lost Battalion, which was the 141st Infantry Division Regiment that was trapped behind German lines, right? 275 men surrounded by 4,000 German forces. The Gebirgsjägers, you know, the mountain troops, and they had tanks and all this. And they were holding out for 7 days. They held out. But my story focused on Sergeant Rock as a part of that battalion. And then it also tells the story of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, the Japanese-American soldiers, the Nisei, and how they ended up breaking through to the Lost Battalion. And I focus on,
Did you come up with that story, or, I mean, was that
well, it's a true story.
I know, but was that an inspiration for you to do that?
Oh, yeah. So like I said, I was in the infantry and stuff, and I showed it to Dan DiDio, the publisher of DC Comics. I told him the story, and he was crying at the end of the lunch I had. And then I flew myself out to the big retailer seminar in Vegas, and I told the story of me. Why would I be the last person to draw Sergeant Rock? Because I'm known for drawing women characters, samurai women and stuff like that. And I told that story. And I told the story about when they're trapped, and General John Dahlquist said, send in the Japs. And by the Japs, he meant the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Right. And so I focus on two companies. I focus on Easy Company, that were trapped behind, with the Texans of the 36th Division, and Item Company of the 442. And of the 185 men that started that campaign for 2 weeks, they started with 185 men. When they reached the Lost Battalion, there was just 8 of them. They were the first to reach them. And I told that story about it and how they broke through to them. And all of a sudden, I said, and ladies and gentlemen, I had a room of 500 retailers. And I said, and ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to announce Joe Sakato, introduce Joe Sakato, and I think it was Eddie Westbrook, or Eddie West, what's his last? Virgil Westdale, who's 2 members of the Japanese-American 442nd Regimental Combat Team. And those guys were sitting there front and center at my table right in the middle of it, and they stood up, and that place went nuts. All the retailers, and they're clapping and cheering, and Bob Wayne, who was the head of DC Comics' marketing, just comes out and shakes my hand, and he's crying, and he just goes like that, and I go like this, and he let go of my hand. He's like, and then he wrote, "I've never seen a standing ovation from retailers for a comic book pitch before." And then it became a big thing, and we won the Military Writers Society of America award for it, and it was a great honor working with them because, Guy, we wanted to tell the story of these soldiers, tell their story, so we used their real names.
And did you go back and like track through the military history where those units were moving on what day and so forth?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I gotta tell you,
he went to Europe twice.
Yeah, I went to Europe twice to research it. And Franz Steidl wrote an amazing book called Lost Battalions, I think it's called. And it tells that story. Franz Steidl, I think he's a Special Forces soldier. He's a Vietnam veteran. He wrote the book, and what an amazing man he was. And he tracked it because he married the daughter of one of the Nisei veterans.
No kidding.
And so he basically guided me through, and I went to the Vosges Mountains where the battle was, and I followed in the tracks, and I drank out of the same watering hole that the Germans and the Americans fought over, and you see the foxholes, and you see the hill, what they took, because it was almost like they did a charge, a good old fashioned, charge, fixed bayonets, and that's the worst thing you ever want to hear is when your sergeant or your commander says fixed bayonets, and they charge.
I'd be getting my hair done at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to participate, but I'm busy.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, you need a runner to go back and get some MREs. No, but and they broke through they caught the Germans so off guard because they were just miserable and tired of being fighting for 2 weeks, and getting the shit end of the stick every time because of the racism and all that stuff. And they just did a charge, man. They broke through them German life. Those Germans didn't know what the hell was coming at them, and they were screaming and yelling. They thought that. And then when they saw Japanese soldiers in American uniforms with the POWs they took, he's like, "Oh yeah, don't you know?" And one of the soldiers said, "Oh, they're on our side now." Right. And one of the commanders said, "I knew the war was over when I saw Japanese soldiers in American uniforms." So it was a wonderful experience. Got to befriend all of these veterans. I have that helmet back there. If I can do this, sorry for the mess, but if you did move your head that way, see that helmet's all signed by veterans of the campaign of the Vosges Mountains campaign.
Wow.
So,
and you went back and did the research on that before you went over, so you can get an idea of the visuals that you
yes, made. Yep. And then I worked with a bunch of reenactors. I became friends with a bunch of these guys that know everything about every type of equipment the Americans had, the Germans had, down to the ribbons, to the Japanese Americans had. Because they came, they had different uniforms. Say the Southern forces that went in through France, Southern France, they most of them came from North Africa. So they had different uniforms than the guys that came in through D-Day, because they had shipped so much stuff to North Africa. They were still using the old leggings, and the M41 uniforms and the haversacks when the guys that came in through
uniforms, by the way.
Very cool. Yeah, they look badass. Aside from the guys, they had the M1940. See, I can just talk about this crap forever. The guys that came through Normandy had way better equipment than those poor guys that came through Italy and through southern France. So
and that was a long walk to get up there too.
Hell yeah, it was. Yep.
Deb, did you go along on the trip?
I had babies at home.
Yeah.
Wow, you should have spent your time researching and stuff instead of making babies.
Yes.
But I have seen and followed your son's wrestling career.
Hmm?
Boy, he's tearing it up.
Yep, he's doing great. We're hoping he got a concussion this year.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, at practice playing football. They in the off season, so he didn't wrestle much, but he still eked out 5 wins. It's tough. Everyone's good.
Yeah, in half a season.
In half a season, not even. Yeah. So we're real proud of him. He's going for architectural engineering. Wow. And he's doing really great. He's
at Penn State. They're the best.
Yep, and he's on their Division III squad, because those guys in Division I he's good, but they're
elite. Yeah.
But even that Division III, because they only have a Division 1 and Division 3. There's no Division 2. Those guys are
phenomenal.
Yeah, and he's wrestling guys.
It's just any college athletic program, no matter what it is. Once they get to college, there's nobody that stinks anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's good.
There's no easy wins.
I have a granddaughter playing for Hofstra.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, right in our backyard.
Yeah.
Right in your backyard.
What did she play for? Did she soccer or?
No, lacrosse.
Lacrosse, okay. Because our cousin is on the soccer team, on the girls' soccer team.
She was, I think she's a junior now. She had a couple of injuries, but when she was in high school and they played the state championship, they played a team that won it for 17 years straight, I think, or 12. 17 or 12. Somewhere
a lot.
around there.
Yeah.
A lot.
Enough.
Enough. And they beat them, and they beat them 10-9. She had 6 goals.
Whoa!
Wow.
Yeah, Hofstra's no joke. That's Division 1 for sure. They've got a tremendous program there.
Yeah, she's quite tough.
Sorry. But yeah, he wanted to go. Our son, he applied to one school, Penn State. He wanted to go to Penn State, and he wanted to be a wrestler and to be architectural engineering, and he's doing it. He's doing it. So pretty great. He got accepted early too, like November or October or something.
Well, that was the coach's doing.
Yeah.
He I think the deadline for the early admissions was November 1st, and he applied on Halloween.
Oh, did he?
October 31st, digitally, And there we were getting ready for Thanksgiving dinner, and we had forgotten to get the mail the day before. So Billy goes out to get the mail. So in a matter of 3 weeks, he had been approved. So I'm pretty sure the coach kind of pushed that through.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. And that's their jobs too. I mean, that's their job.
Absolutely.
Is to recognize some talent and get them to the right people. So that's good stuff.
And at Division 3, there's no money. There's no
Scholarship,
no
athletic
scholarship at Division 3.
Yeah.
So they do what they can from an academic standpoint. So that was the favor he did for our son, to make sure he got in early, and saved us a bunch of money in application fees, because like he said, he applied only to Penn State, and that was it.
He's obviously a pretty bright young man.
Yes.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're very proud of him. Both of our boys. One's a welder and doing fantastic with that, and him, and he'll be a architectural engineer. So they got to take care of us when we get older. How about that?
What we're the most proud of is just they're good people. They're
great
really
kids.
good people, and that's kind of hard to do in this day and age. But they're both really, really good people.
Well, they come from good stock.
We try.
Half of it is.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, Billy. I was waiting for you to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so let me get back to how did you come up with She? I mean, what was your inspiration? You looking at it?
So yeah, because he doesn't remember.
I don't
much.
remember. Like I don't.
So obviously, what we've spoken about up until now, Billy's always been. First of all, he's a history nut about anything having to do with history, but especially war and martial arts. War and warfare is probably a better way to put it. So he
Military history.
Military history.
Not war. I'm not a fan of war.
No, but you read about it.
I do.
Right? So, okay, maybe fan is the wrong word, but
right.
and he gets interested in different things and goes in headlong, right? And becomes obsessed. So there came a time that he became obsessed with everything Japanese, especially Japanese medals, Japanese history, Japanese mythology, all of that. And from there, the initial character was named Ran and was a man.
Yeah, male character.
And he just had the gut feeling or whatever it is to make her a woman.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's been surrounded by strong women his whole life. His mom, single mom, really strong. His sister also. And then, of course, he married one. So, all that time he was dating one.
Yeah.
And
Good
knew
choice, Billy.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also, all through college, being an illustration major at a fashion college, he was always drawing women.
Yeah.
So it just kind of made sense as he progressed to merge the two. And then once he started doing more and more research as he got the direction, he changed the name from Rand to She just because of what they meant.
Yeah, and Rand means chaos, and She means death.
Death.
And I thought that was a cool thing. And the guy, after I came back from San Diego, I didn't even draw one page of this comic or write it. And I started writing it and drawing it. Then I would have my samples, and I would go to other publishers, other smaller publishers, to see if they would publish it. And they all said no. And I got like, girl books don't sell. You know, if you change the character to male, maybe. Well, we could publish it, but we'll own it, you know, and you'll get royalties after 50,000 copies or something. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all right. I'll do it myself. And then I went to the library because I had no idea how to make a comic book. I didn't know where you bought them from. I didn't know where the shops, got them from. I didn't know where they were printed, how you did it. And I decided to do a full color comic.
Wow. I mean,
And-
that's gutsy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gutsy.
But I was also smart too, though. Like when you sell a comic book, the first issue could do well. The second issue, however, always drops 50%. So what I did was I waited instead of so She number 1 was solicited for March 1994. Most other people would then do April 1994 as She number 2. Time to order number 2. I waited till June because I wanted when She number 1 was on the stands, it came time for them to order the second issue. And then so they saw the new number 1, it blew out. How do I get number 2? They looked right into their ordering catalog, and it was number 2 was right there, and the numbers just kept
delay between when they shipped it and when they were ordering it,
right,
or when they were reading it and when they were ordering it. Where normally you would be ordering it before you ever read it. So, which is the reason why number 2 usually falls off. That the stores were nervous, like, what if this doesn't do well? What if it stinks? Right. So we'll just hedge our bets and see how it does. And by him delaying, it really made it move along as quickly as it did.
How did you figure that out?
It seemed common sense to me, it really did. And I remember because I think a retailer told me, well, your numbers are going to drop by half for the second issue. So I was like,
well, how am I going to figure out how to prevent that?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, why don't I wait till the first issue's on the stands for them to order the second issue? And it went for number 1. We had initial orders for 37,000 copies. 3 weeks after that comic hit the stands, we had reorders for over 140,000 copies. But I only made 50,000. So I'm like, that's it. It's sold out. There's only 50,000. I kept some for ourselves. And then number 2 orders were like 80,000, right? And then it just kept going up and up and up. It was crazy. It was
good. They were good times.
Good times, yeah. Good times.
Well, you've carried that on through your career. I mean, you guys are all over the place now, with the Comic-Cons, with the different characters you're even penciling. I did some research on you. And you're penciling for other comic book, DC, Marvel. You were doing weren't you doing?
Yeah, you do it for them. Yeah, because you need a break. Yeah, I haven't done it for them in a while. Because you do make way more money when you own your own IP. Like, you get these great comic artists and writers who created all the things you see in the X-Men, right? You see all the things you see in the movies. My two of my great buddies, Graham Nolan and Chuck Dixon, created Bane for the Batman movie that made $1.5 billion, right? Worldwide. They got paid, but they didn't get paid $1.5 billion. They didn't. If you own it, if you own your own IP, you make a lot more money. But it's cool being a comic fan. I mean, who wouldn't jump at drawing Batman? At writing Batman. So that's where I got one of my Eisner nods. Was with our kids. It's actually it's a story with our kids where they meet Batman. They capture the Scarecrow. It's a funny story.
I also saw in my research that you did one where Flash versus Superman.
Yep, that's also
also our son.
That's also our kids.
The one who goes through the screen is the wrestler.
Yeah, the one who, the more aggressive one. So basically, I wanted to tell the definitive Flash versus Superman story, and at the end you find out it's two kids racing to the last house on Halloween. And the one thing is that the Flash, and this is the research I do, the Flash can literally vibrate through a mountain, right? But he can make a mountain crumble. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that he can do, but I don't think he's ever done it before. And he's racing against Superman, and Superman's beating him because Superman's stronger than him. You know, he's faster than him. He really is. And here's Flash like, this is all I got. Yeah, this is all I got is speed. And he's like, I got to go for it. And he ends up crashing through a screen door and that was Debbie was the woman, and she's like, "What are you doing?" But he won. He got to the finish line first. It's called To the Finish Line. It was a really fun story to do.
Well, you know, I didn't know that when I was doing the research on it, but I'm sure not a whole lot of other people knew it either. But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very well received when it came out because I surprised everybody because there is no that they've done several issues of that, so they've never really determined, you know, who is faster, even though I think Superman technically is. But, you know, it's like I said, that's all the guy has. Guy is speed, Flash.
Right.
You know,
right.
so.
So, when did you write start writing the Sergeant Rock, the Lost?
2008, 2009, I did Sergeant Rock. That's when I did it. Yep.
Wow, you won military literacy.
Yeah, the Military Writers Society of America is a very prestigious military organization, I guess. You know, it's real big. Like, so you get all Tom Clancy, all the guys win the books, and we won based on historical, like it's historical fiction, but it's based on on an actual thing. We won the gold medal for it. That was pretty great in 2000. I think we won in 2011. So maybe I was doing it from 2009 to 2010, but pretty cool.
Well, excuse me for some shameless self-promotion maybe, but I got one here, and you wrote this quite a while ago too.
Yeah.
About 2004, 5?
No, that's probably 2000.
That
was after Sergeant, so maybe 2012, 13, 14?
It was actually Sergeant Rock that got Robert Young's attention.
Yeah.
That asked Billy to get involved with that.
Yep.
Oh, good choice.
And I told the story of this ragtag group of ne'er-do-wells on the Mamba team, going down going down Route Irish, and I appreciate, Robert was great, and getting to meet you and Miyagi, and to talk to a bunch of the guys, and because that's a story that has to be told. They'd gotten so much shit. And
it's so funny that we see Miyagi so often now. Like,
and he didn't come this year though.
He comes when he can.
Yeah,
but that so many friendships came out of that.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Just good guy.
I drove up to Orlando to see you guys once. Of course, I haven't seen you back there for a while. But,
we don't get invited anymore.
Yeah.
That's what Billy said. You guys might be too big for him. That was a small.
No, that's not why.
No, he's thinking of the Florida con we did, as opposed to the MegaCon.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, MegaCon was. Yeah, MegaCon was more. They're more into the celebrities, and then they had these art brokers, I guess, or they're agents.
That's a different con.
Yeah, no, that's a different con. But that's Mike. But Mike has had some health problems, so he hasn't put on the show in a few years.
That was the small one. I thought you meant the big one.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah.
So we need to figure out a way to get ourselves back to Florida.
Yeah. Well, we're talking to the Coliseum Comics guys, because we got to see where he lives, but that's a story for another day.
Where does he live?
He lives outside of. Well, you're in Wellington now, right?
By Fort Myers.
By Fort Myers.
Wellington.
I'm on the East Coast.
Lori used to live near there.
Did she? Oh well, he's
or in Wellington, maybe.
Well, he's just.
It's beautiful there.
Northport is just north of you.
Yeah,
Florida.
45 minutes north.
Yeah. He's in between St. Pete and Naples.
No, I mean.
Right.
Yeah, Northport is probably just as far north as Naples is south. So
I got to get her. I got to get her down there to convince her.
Well, I'll
You
tell
don't
you.
have to convince me. I'll go down as a snowbird. I'm not living there the whole time, especially without my children.
Okay, well there you go.
Destination spots, man. My kids are up there, but they come down. Matter of fact, my daughter's coming down the end of this month. I have a grandson that went to college down here at Florida Gulf Coast University, so he's relatively close to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I see him play a little golf with him every now and then. Bad golf. He's better than I am.
Yeah, I love playing bad golf.
Yeah. Cigar and a beer.
I'm really good at playing bad golf.
I'm up. Okay. But so have you heard from Pelton at all?
No. He would keep in touch with us, and I mean, I know he
Not in a
travels
really
a lot.
long time.
Yeah, normally like San Diego, we'd have dinner with him because he lived down there.
Yeah.
But I should reach out to him, say hi. See, he's a
Do that.
yeah, he's a fun guy. We've had some good times with him. Very interesting man. You know, the stories that he had and the people he's interviewed and things like that. And very, very interesting guy.
I read a couple of his books, and the one I can't remember the name of it now, but the one where he was growing up in a school up in Canada, and great story. Guy's got a great story. Every now and then I'll touch base with him on LinkedIn, but not that often anymore. When I was going back and forth to Africa, I talked to him a couple times about information and some connections and stuff, and he was very helpful. My first contact with him wasn't a real good one.
I remember that. Yeah. So how did that go? I don't know if Debbie's ever heard that story.
Don't have it.
Well, I was working with Blackwater at the time, and Eric Prince decided that he wanted a writer to come in, and Pelton was the guy to go over. And I was talking to some of the folks that were in the head shed there, and said, it might not be a good idea to do that. You don't know how it's going to come out. And he's coming. Okay, all right, got it. So he ends up coming. They were going to go down to Alhilla. But State Department down there said we don't want him down here, so he ended up in the team house, and something was going on. I was looking at the map. I had two phones in my ear. I was talking to a helicopter, and I was talking to my guys, looking at a map and trying to direct things. And I could feel somebody behind me, so I put the microphones in my chest, and I turned around, and there's this guy there I never saw first day, and I'm looking him up and I said, "Who are you?" And he went, Robert Young Pelton. Said, "Get the hell out of my office. Don't you ever come in here again." Out he went. So I got done what I was doing, walked outside and said, "Bob," right? And he said, "Robert." I said, "Okay, Bob." And that's when he was staying. I said, "Kitchen's down there. There's water. Get yourself some food. Grab yourself a blanket, sheets. Find yourself a bunk." Slapped him on the back. Said, "Welcome to the house." That was it.
And he was at the team house, shadowing you guys.
Well, he was following those. I was in and out on the road every now and then. I didn't get out as much as those guys did. They were more road warriors. I was kind of out for some of it, back at the house, running that operation more.
Yeah.
But, he was very interested in them, and they were very interested in talking to him.
Well, were they? Yeah. Well, why not? Yeah.
Yeah,
Make you
absolutely.
famous.
Yeah, they did a great job, and he portrayed them that well, and you and in that way, and you did as well. In this,
Oh. Yeah, we want to. And Road Warriors is the perfect terminology because for those that may not know, they were the ones picking up VIPs down Route Irish, so they would go from the green zone to Baghdad International Airport, pick up these VIPs, and then drive them. Running the gauntlet, holy crap! I mean, it was Wild Wild West, or worse than the Wild Wild West ever was.
And Pelton, he was on those Mambas daily running.
Yeah.
He was. He was out there. He didn't have a gun, but he had a camera. And
Yeah.
He was taking his pics and doing his job. And come back, and you guys created a couple great stories for it. And I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you this, but a few years later, I think it was 2006 7, there was a big shootout in Kinshasa. But I was contacted by a guy right around when that happened. It was a miner from Ghana, and he was asking me if I would take a group into Congo to get diamonds out. And I was like, I don't know. I saw the movie Africa Diamonds, didn't dig it, and let me send you my business plan. And he said, I'm leaving tomorrow to go. And I said, his name was Agabella Miko.
Okay.
And I said, Ag, how old are you? He said, 34. I said, I hope you see 35. And he goes, maybe I should read some Robert Young Pelton. And I went, you read Pelton? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, excuse me for some shameless self-promotion, but I was in his last book about a dozen times.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's why I called you. And you know what the first thing that came out of my mouth was those SEALs had it right all along, man. Write a book, get in a book. You know?
Yeah, you Green Berets should have been writing books.
Well, I got a SEAL sitting over here right now. And
hey, you had one of them wrote a song, and it became a #1 hit in 66 or whatever.
Right, but we weren't that good of singers either.
Yeah. Well, Hundley's mom is, I became friends with her on Facebook. I'm still friends with her. And he was killed on Route Irish with Miyagi when he got really banged up, when he got very seriously wounded. And that was rough. You know, just reading the book from, Robert's point of view, and I hope I was able to capture it, but it was crazy. It was, Curtis, and they lost. He's 82nd Airborne vet, and he was killed in that IED explosion. Just sucks, man. Just those guys. Your guys never got enough credit. All they got was bad press. You got a few bad apples everywhere, I guess, and then a lot of anything went wrong was then attributed to you guys. Anything.
Yeah.
So
it was a crazy time. We did the best we could.
Yeah.
And it's you figure you do that run daily, and if you have one or two things go sideways, that's still not a bad percentile.
Right.
That many years that they were there, I thought they did a pretty good job, all in all. So what's next for you guys?
All right. So what's next? So we have
we're doing right now
a lot. We're doing a lot right now. So right now I have a book that's currently live on Kickstarter. We do
and Indiegogo.
So we do these crowdfunded books now. We sell directly to the fans now.
We're not selling. We're funding.
We're funding directly to the fans. The fans fund your project. It's really cool. It's a really great concept, crowdfunding, and we've been really successful the past 5 years doing it.
Explain
6
that
years.
To me. What is
7
it?
actually.
How does that work? I've never even heard of it.
So basically, you go to the fans. You're like, I am producing this new book, right? But I need you to help me fund it. So you pre-order the book. So they literally go in and they pre-order the comic. So we've done 11.
You can't call it order.
You can't order.
Because it's not order. So
they pledge. Oh yeah,
So these corporations, these crowdfunding corporations like Kickstarter and like Indiegogo, they give you a platform to show a project that you would like to make or create or produce. And it's not limited, obviously, to comics. There's people who want to make frying pans. There's people who want to make movies. There's people who want to make clothing. They have an idea, but they don't have the money to do it. So you go to the people who are the consumers of these items through these companies or these crowdfunding platforms, and they find you the people, or you help to find the people and direct them there. So we have some of our audience on these platforms are our previous fans, and some are new people that just like to scroll through these platforms and help products get made. And what you do is you offer them different rewards for different pledge levels or the different amounts of money that they pledge to get to get the item made.
What a
so that enables us to make the in our case, the books. We offer them in different covers, and we offer additional merchandise like T-shirts, challenge coins, prints, all sorts of things. And in exchange for their pledge or their support in order to get the project made, they get these rewards. We're not getting paid directly from them. We're getting paid directly from the platform.
Right.
So that's why we can't really call it sales, because then there's sales tax and all that involved. This is the platform is helping us get this funded. They get paid and they pay us.
Mm-hmm. How many of these have you done?
11.
Get out.
22. Well, 22 actually. If you look at both Indiegogo and Kickstarter,
we're one of the few companies that produce these on more than one platform.
Yeah.
Well, we're like, even heard of this.
Yeah, well, so like if you want to write a book, a lot of authors do it. A lot of people like, listen, I want to write a book. Say, Guy, I want to write a book on my experiences, and I'm looking to raise, and you could just say, I don't know, $1,000 for the printing, $2,000. Then you put it out there, and they help get you funded for that book. A lot of times, like with this next, so that's right now we have a book called Ran, which is the character that became She, like we were talking about. I've always wanted to tell the story of Ran.
He's a trainee, right?
Well, she's a tranny. No, bro.
Sorry, man. I had to
Dude, don't spoil it for everyone. All these guys think they're going to get a hot chick comic.
I had to take the shot.
Tranny. Anyway, so it takes place in Tokyo in 1993, and it's basically the original She story I had, and it's going gangbusters. We're almost at $135,000 with it. To help get us to it. I'll finish this book this month. It'll go to the printer, and then next month we launch our next Omnibus Edition, which is like a 500-page, huge, oversized collected edition. Which, of course, I put one over there. You want to grab it? Thanks, hon.
Wow, I never even heard of this concept.
Oh, dude, it's amazing, bro. Just got it?
Yeah.
Thank you. So we're doing a new book like this. So this is our first Omnibus Edition. Wow. Right?
That's a coffee table book, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And it's got, the entire... The first 16 issues is She. The next one we're going to do is and it's fun, it's cool. Oh, look at that. Oh, what the hell that's in there? Do all this but with the oversized, you can see the comic the way it was. The next one we're doing, volume 2, launches next month, and that's called The Crossovers, because we also, here I couldn't get work at Marvel and DC. The character became so popular, now you're hanging out with them like, hey, you want to do a crossover? So I'm like one of the only independent small publishers, self-published, that was able to do a crossover with Wolverine, with Daredevil, Marvel characters, Daredevil, with all these big characters we've done across the spectrum. So that's going to be another at least 500-page hardcover, oversized, She the Crossovers. And that's next month. And then we'll see in the end, maybe near the end of the year in October, we'll do like maybe an anniversary edition, a gift edition of our Child is Born book, which is the comic I wrote and illustrated about the birth of Jesus, the Christmas story.
Yeah.
Yep.
And since that book,
is Matthew wrote it.
Matthew and Luke wrote it. Yeah, I didn't write it.
You didn't write it.
Right.
Matthew and Luke wrote it. I adapted it. Like Robert wrote your story in the book. I adapted it to comics. So and the cool thing is, like, now we could say, like, with the hardcover edition and with the Child is Born, I'm like, and this book is done. We just need your help to get it printed. And the fans will print it, and we fulfilled 10 of them in a row, and we'll get that to everybody in weeks. As soon as that campaign ends, we get our numbers, it'll go to print, and we'll ship it out to everybody, like before Thanksgiving, hopefully, Or
with the revival of the Christian, the religious revival that's happening right now, your timing is perfect.
Yep. And it's a good thing. It's good to see.
Yeah.
Because I think we were going in the wrong direction for a very long time, at least in the United States. it has a resurrection, if you will, and more people are going to church and finding God again, and and I was very blessed to do that book, and that's a book we won the Book of the Year from Christian. Is it Christian Booksellers Association or something like that? In the
Dove Award.
No, we won a Dove Award, 5 stars from the Dove Foundation, but we also won the award for best it was my public. It was Apostle Arts. So I called instead of Crusade Fine Arts, we created another company with my 2 partners called Apostle Arts.
Who we met through doing the Sergeant Rock book.
That's right, who I met because the grandson of one of the pilots in the Lost Battalion, Arch Archilla, his grandson Evan, right, came to a Comic-Con, and we went to dinner, started talking, and he's like, wow, you did your dream project? And I'm like,
so he said, I guess this is your magnum opus.
Yeah, and I said, no,
this is not my magnum.
It's not my magnum. I kind of want to tell the Christian story. I mean, the Christmas story. And he's like, what? And he perked up, and I didn't know he was a Christian. You know, I didn't know that. And he's like, you want to partner with that? So he and Jason, my other partner Jason, we put together Apostle Arts. And we put together that book. But that's a long time ago, Guy. That's going back 15 years. So a lot of people never saw it because it sold out so quickly. It's a hardcover. You want to grab that too?
Are you ever?
I know I'm not prepared. I came back from that convention last night.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah.
This traveled 125 miles to sit here right now.
There you go, bro.
125.
So
I'm looking for it. I don't see
it. It's somewhere. It doesn't matter. But it's called The Child Is Born. And some people can get them on Amazon and stuff. But we'll be doing a nice oversized gift edition of that in
something
in
like what you just showed me.
Yep. But it won't be as big. It's not 500 pages. It's 48.
But I mean, the format's close.
Format, big, beautiful book. We're gonna do. 100%.
Something to go on a coffee table.
Yep, and something you can read every year. You know, it's great for kids. You know, and you tell the story. And I met with a bunch of priests and scholars, you know, like biblical scholars, talk to them because I wanted to know everything they were wearing, you know, to make it very detailed. You know, I get very detailed oriented, you know, and God bless, man, that book won that award. Pretty great, you know.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
You know, that must be an artist characteristic. I have an artist friend of mine who is up in Yulee, and Yulee, Florida. It's up north of Jacksonville. It's about a couple miles south of the Georgia,
Florida line.
Yeah. And his studio is in his house, but his gallery is on Amelia Island. And some of the work he does is phenomenal. He does birds. It's Birds by Walter, I think is his website.
Oh, cool.
And he's a buddy of mine. I was in the 82nd with him 100 years ago. And when I started looking at his work, I said, man, the only thing I thought you were an artist of was chaos. And look at the work you're producing now. You know, it's amazing. You guys are, very detail oriented. If you come down sometime, I'd like to introduce you to him. I think you would like him. He's really a talented fellow too. I kind of like almost in your range. He's very good.
I'd love to meet him, and I'd love to come down there. We're hopefully planning next New Year's to be down there at the very latest, to come down and spend a nice week down in Florida, and
just look around,
and and look around.
Sorry, Deb.
We could be snowbirds.
The snowbirds are, and you have options then, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have options. When I first moved down here, I bought it because the county that I lived in had the second highest foreclosures in the country at the time. So it was like, maybe I'll look for like an investment type thing.
Heck yeah.
Bought it and loved it. I just bought a new home. I still have the old one, but I'm renting it right now. But my mother was still alive then, so I was still going back and forth. And I ran the security for Andrew Wyeth estate
Wow.
Ford.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty good buddies with Betsy. He died in I think January of 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming home from Philadelphia. I was on a job up there. Coming home, I get a call from the chief of security at Brandywine Museum, and said, "Hey, Andrew Wyatt died." I said, "Well, sorry to hear that, but what does it mean for me?" And he said, "Well, they need somebody to secure the estate," and I told him you would do it. So I did it for like 5 years, and what a great opportunity that was.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that Christina's World painting in the MoMA, in the Museum of Modern Art, you know?
Yeah, he's phenomenal artist.
Great artist. All those great woods, with birches he would do, you know, birch trees. And I mean, just from him, well, his dad is an illustration legend, you know? Yeah. NC Wyeth is is like the premier Golden Age illustrator. One of them. Him and Pyle.
Okay. Yeah, him and Pyle. And I'm a big fan of his as well.
Yeah.
Well, Billy and Deborah, great seeing you again. Keep this guy straight, would you?
I try.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. Hey, brother, thank you so much for having me and us. We really appreciate it. And I got to have you come on to my YouTube channel.
I would love to. I'll tell all kinds of lies for you.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. Let's talk. We do like Wednesdays or Thursday nights if you can do that.
I would love to. Send me an invite.
Yep. And thanks for accommodating our time. We have our, I got a Legion meeting tonight, and it's nominations for the officers for the year and stuff. And so everyone's got to go to that. So
everybody's got to go. I appreciate it.
Thanks all right, again. Brother. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Bye.